Hi, everyone, and welcome to the May Plan with Me. And it's kind of funny, I was 20 seconds early. If you've never used Ecamm Live software, it will tell you, hey, are you sure you want to go live? You're early. And I was like, I am early? Because sometimes I have been known to accidentally have a typo with the times, but this time I did not. And yeah, I'm just excited that I'm early and I'm on time because sometimes I'm late or whatever, but it's a new year, it's a new month. Things are going to be so much better this year. So if you have never been here, I'm Lisa and you're watching the Pretty Fabulous channel. And mostly these are for planner pixies, but I just do a live stream to my YouTube channel just to check in, especially because I am actually not making videos anymore. I've been so busy writing, but let's go ahead and get into May. If you're here, say hello. I don't think anyone's here, but I'm just going to start talking because that's what I do. So I had a fun May picture of me with a bunch of books. Now, if you want to make these pictures, now this is an AI photo. It is super easy. I have a free course, an AI selfie course. If you go to my website, prettyfabulousdesigns.com, and there will be a link there for it. All right, so spring is here, and I say seasonal produce, but I think now with everything just being in season all the time. I can't imagine at the grocery store. It used to be you couldn't get things unless they were in season. I have no idea how gardening or farming works, but it feels like things are available year round. It doesn't really matter what's in season, but I think they do in theory taste better when they are in season. But you know, again, not my area of expertise. I just like to mention those because it's from the 80s. That's like what you did. You just had to keep on track of when things were in season and when they weren't. Easter this year already passed, so I don't know why that's there. That must be a typo from last month. I actually did nothing for Easter. I went out with a friend for afternoon tea, which was very lovely. And what else is happening? There's Earth Day. May showers. In theory, it's going to rain. So here in Florida, it's the same thing as I had in San Diego. It just doesn't rain. It's really dry pretty much the whole year. And that's pretty much it. We have 31 days this month. So if you have a big goal, I know it seems silly, but for some reason, just having that extra day feels like you got some extra time to do stuff. But it could just be me. So the new AI prompts for this month is summer setup. So this is the perfect time to get ready for summer, which is really, I think, only applicable to moms. Because, I mean, everyone can get ready for summer, but I think the extra planning that's required is something that is more a mom thing to work around kids' schools. Like I was just talking to a friend and she was talking about how she has to plan around her kids' spring break. Her kid is only 2. So I don't know. I guess the planning for the school year starts early. But if you are in Planner Pixies, this is free to you. It is available. I guess it's only available to Planner Pixies. It's not even offered for a paid version. But if you go into Heartbeat right now, I went ahead and uploaded it. I, in theory, scheduled it so it should just go live right now. So you could go ahead and go in there right now and start planning out your summer. So I thought it would be fun to say, okay, I have things that I want to do this summer, really just one thing. We'll talk about that. But if there is something you want to do to make sure we're not here together in September and you're like, wow, the summer came and went and I didn't get to do any of the things I wanted to do, now is the time to start planning for the summer, which is really June, July, August, right? That's basically all you have. But if you are somebody who does or doesn't have kids, I just thought, what could you plan? You could do vacations. Maybe there's a summer goal you want to work on or some project that maybe you have extra time to work on. Maybe you want to do some more budgeting or your schedule's going to change and you need to adjust for that to make sure you still are able to do all of the same habits and everything else. But either way, I think scheduling and calendaring out your whole summer is going to be probably the most helpful for you. So I am single and I don't like sports, so I don't really have to plan those. But if you really like baseball, I know I have one friend back in California who loves baseball and her children love baseball. So we're a whole, every time I was let's meet up for a coffee. She's like, oh, let me check the baseball schedule. And I was like, why. But clearly, if that is something you like, that is probably something you should do, and then just have it all planned out in your schedule. Because I did find that annoying. Like every time I talk to her, she's like, oh, let me check. She has to check the schedule, and then she has to check whether or not it's a home game. But if you had that in your schedule, you would already know. So I don't have any kids that require daily entertainment. That's probably a big thing for some people. The only thing I have going on this summer is my dad has his birthday and Father's Day. That's pretty much it for me. So I have a pretty low stress planning schedule. But if you have children, you should plan in their summer camps and everything else. Goals. I hate the heat. You hear me complain about it all the time. So I thought, after maybe, 20 years of complaining about it, I would stop. I know, it's a new me, it's a new change, and I'm going to try to learn to love the heat. I shouldn't say try, I'm going to learn to love the heat. Because here's the thing, in San Diego, it's kind of cute to laugh and be like, I'm going to stay inside for the summer. And the summer only lasts for maybe 2 months out of the year, possibly 3. But here, it's the total opposite. Winter only lasts for 2 to 3 months out of the year, and the rest of the year is hot, humid, sticky, and just smolderingly stifling. So the best thing to do is to get out and live my life. I don't want to be stuck inside for an entire 10 months out of the year. So I am going to try to get into harmony and sync with the heat. Yeah, so I tried going out with 2 friends this month, and both of them, the weather was it wasn't that bad. It was 85 and 87 each day we met up, and there was an opportunity. You could sit inside or you could sit outside. And they were like, oh, let's sit outside. There's a nice breeze. And I was like, absolutely not. Are you insane? There is no way I am sitting outside in the heat. Even though there was shade, I couldn't bear it. So clearly, the heat doesn't bother them. This is something nice and pleasant to them. So I'm just going to try to be more of a Floridian and just embrace where I'm at versus just hating it and being miserable every day. I actually used to love the beach, and I grew up with the pool. So I'm not inherently a summer heat hater. In fact, I think I like it, or I used to. It's hard when you're a kid. You like things that you probably don't like as an adult. But that is my summer goal operation. Love the heat. So what does that entail? That entails me going on a 30-minute walk at least once a day, or try to every single day. And so according to AI, which is pretty much where I get all of my advice now, but according to AI, within 8 weeks, I should be not miserable. I won't like it. It just says I won't be in shock and just crying and whining. I don't know. It's me. I might still cry and whine, but in theory, May, June, so say mid-July, that'll be 8 weeks, and I should kind of be used to the heat. And then for sure, by the end of the summer, so we have May, June, July, August, September, October, by November, everything should be better. And then this time next year, it won't be as awful as it is right now for me when I go outside. So last month, I did hang out with my friend Jen at Universal Studios, and 3 hours into it, I was like, we have to go. I cannot take it. And that was just a regular day. So, and I had an umbrella too for shade. So anyways, these could be, so if you have some routines and habits that you want to add, this could be your most productive month ever, because the sun is out forever. And in fact, last night I was I'm going to wind down and start going to bed, and it was still super bright out at 8 o'clock. So anyways, that is something you might want to think about if there are things that you want to do. Self-care and fun. My plans for self-care are reading. I think for most people, I shouldn't even say for most people, I don't know. So you'll notice when I did the summer reset, the questions, they're kind of funny. I was being a little cheeky. They were like, if you can, after you're done doing laundry for your children, shopping for your children, making snacks for your children, entertaining your children, dressing your children, driving them around to every single camp, then if you have time, sure, go ahead and plan some self-care activities, because that's what I imagine life must be as a parent. But if there is something you want to do for self-care, try to book it now and make plans for that. Oops. the wrong direction. Budgeting and spending. So a typical vacation, so I think a lot of people are coming to Florida or wherever, it's $8,000 for a family of 4 to come on vacation to Disney for 5 days. So I don't know if you want to go to Disney or there's somewhere else you want to go, but vacations aren't cheap. So you might want to budget ahead of time versus just thinking, I'll just charge it and try not to spend a lot of money. So this way you can enjoy vacation. There was a statistic I read where if you prepay for your vacation, whether it's Christmas or summer or anything else or a trip, you will enjoy it and have happier memories than if you charge it and then are stuck with the payments later. Psychologically, I guess it just makes you feel better. So something to think about. So let's get into today. Just wanted to do a quick theme of summer planning if summer is important to you and you have a lot of things you need to schedule things around. But we're going to do our same schedule to picking a word, picking a goal, all of that stuff. So my word is still action. I really like this. Like, I don't think. So there's not a lot of strategy here. It's not really important. I know what I need to do. I feel like I've been spending the last 10 years strategizing, but not a lot of doing. So I am just doing stuff, which is mostly just writing this year. And also I have all these mantras and I pretty much have adhered to these. I would say 80% of the time, because they're very much like, what do you do? Like, I will work out right when I wake up. I do that every day. I will start working right after breakfast. I do that pretty much like, I would say 80% of the time. I will walk in silence with my own thoughts. This one is tough. I do like talking on the phone when I'm doing my walks, but I have tried just doing nothing, which sounds weird because I am so used to, there was that one year I read 300 books. And every time I had downtime, whether I was vacuuming, doing dishes, going to the grocery store, even walking outside to just check the mailbox, which only takes a couple minutes, I was like, I can't waste this time doing nothing. I need to listen to a book or I need to read an email or, something to be productive. And I think being silent has actually made me more productive, not less productive, just because I have some more of that like blank space going on. So there's that. And I plan it maybe day each day. So this is like for sure been super helpful for me to have this all the time. The biggest one is the one in pink, is me doing strategy, me just wasting time. Like, instead of doing the thing, I'll just be like, is this really the best use of my time? Could I be doing something else? Should I be doing this? Maybe I should do like, and then during that time I could have like just finished whatever was on my to-do list. So very happy still with my word, and I'll probably keep it for the rest of the year, but it's always a new month. So if you have a new word that will help you to propel you or help you get over something that you maybe weren't getting done the last month, or somewhere else you need to be in life, then you should change your word of the month. And I always like quotes too, to just kind of support whatever your word is. All right, let's talk about habits. Mine still have not changed. And I talk about this all the time. I think having some of those habit trackers where you see like 27 habits, like you were just setting yourself up for failure if, first of all, that you want to do 27 new habits every month. But also, I think just having one and sticking with it is really the key when everyone talks about how do you make it, stick. And there's all these theories on, after 90 days, it becomes a lifelong habit. After 120 days or after, it doesn't matter what the science says because everybody is different and every single habit is different. And where you're at in life and the things going on and the people around you and the different schedules or priorities that you have in life are going to dictate whether or not you can take a habit and make it a lifelong habit. So for me, I chose my habit for no caffeine based on the fact that maybe it was giving me anxiety. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I would only try it for 2 weeks or 2 months at a time. So it has now been 1 year and 1 month that I've gone without caffeine. And I honestly, I haven't really missed it. I do miss lattes. I do like those. But I think I've saved a lot of money in not having to buy. Like, I bought lattes all the time. And also I've saved probably a lot of calories just drinking pure sugar, right? Without doing lattes. The other thing is the processed sugar, which now I'm doing limited sugar. So in January, I had chocolate. In February, I had a piece of cake. I know you're like, that's like just one tiny thing. In March, I had too much chocolate. In April, I had a cookie. So I don't even like cookies, but I was picking up a sandwich the other day at Potbelly. I was excited. First of all, Potbelly is a sandwich, what do you call it? Chain that is only in Chicago, or that's the only place I've ever seen it. And so when I lived in Chicago, it was right across the street. I worked at the Fed, and across the street, there was this, I don't even know what it was. Well, the SIBO, the Board of Trade, was across the street, but next to that, there was like this whole little business thing with like restaurants, and the bank was there. Anyways, they had a Potbelly inside there, and I pretty much had Potbelly, I would say 90% of the time, because one, it's just right across the street, and it was really good. So when I saw that they were opening one here right down the street, I was so excited. So I've been going to Potbelly a lot, but they have cookies. And you have so many points, right, after ordering sandwiches, but I never had like enough points to get another free sandwich, but I had another point to get a free cookie. So I was like, why don't I just get a cookie? Anyways, that's my cookie story for April. So I had a cookie in April. But it's been 6 months so far without processed sugar. And is it helping my anxiety? I don't know. I think so. I feel like it's making it better, right? Like everything you hear about sugar is like, it's awful, it's bad, it's poison. So I don't know that I'm missing out on any benefits from sugar aside from the happy feeling that it gives me from eating sugar. So that's kind of it. The other third habit, and this is something I just added last month, is running 10Ks on Saturday. So I run a 5K probably like 4 days a week, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturdays, I do a 10K, and then Sundays and Mondays, I lift weights. So these are my long runs. And the first couple times I thought I was going to throw up or pass out, which is pretty much true of like all running. Like even like the first year, I still thought, or probably 2 years, probably the first 2 years, I thought I was going to throw up or pass out. But now it's like pretty easy, and I look forward to it, and I like doing it. So that's my only new habit that I have picked up so far. Let's talk about weight loss, because I usually like try skipping over this unless I have something happy to report. I gained weight. So for the first time ever, so the month before was really great, 4-pound loss. And this month I gained, well, I know it's like 0.7, but I have like, it's either a plateau or I'm on the way up. So my goal for May is to lose 2.5 pounds. That's it. So what am I going to do differently? I feel like I need to do something differently. So right now I've just given up sugar, and that has been working great. But I'm now at the point where I don't think I will get any more yield or results or benefits from giving up the sugar. So I've now gone back to tracking my calories on MyFitnessPal. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the reason I was like, why am I plateauing? First of all, ever since November, I've done nothing. Like I've really done nothing special. Like for me to say, oh, I've done such hard work to lose these 20 pounds. I've done nothing. All I've done is give up processed sugar. And I think sugar did inflammation. So all the inflammation was gone when I gave it up. The other thing too is water weight flushes out. And the third thing, bloating disappears, but I've never felt bloated, but maybe I was bloated. I feel like that's just, you have extra weight. I don't know why people call it bloating. And then the weight kind of fell off really quickly for those first 20 pounds. I am now just stuck at 135. So really, unless I do something new, remember I was talking to, I mentioned this last month because I walk with Molly 3 days a week, and I was like, yeah, I'd really like to get down to another 10 pounds. She's like, oh, how are you going to make that happen? And I was like, what do you mean, how am I going to make that happen? It's just going to happen. So for the last like 4 or 5 months, things have just happened. So I'm now at the point where nothing has happened. So I've like plateaued. So anyways, so my biggest challenge right now is just food. And I'm like one of those people where I like to eat till I'm full or till I'm like extra full. So because of that, I think it's really hard for me with portion sizes to just have something where I'm like comfortably satisfied. Otherwise, I kind of feel like I've been cheated. Like I didn't really get like not even my money's worth because I've been eating at home, but like I didn't get like the full satisfaction of what should have happened at mealtime, which is to feel full or overly full or uncomfortably full. I'm not even sure where that comes from. So that's what I'm going to try to work on this month, is just smaller portions without it feeling like scarcity. Because sometimes when I get like a small bowl or you put like a small portion and you're used to putting something big, it feels really hard. So mostly I feel like a lot of these things now are just kind of like psychological, because I don't want to rely on willpower, because I think that's like setting yourself up for failure. At least it is for me. I think it's more just changing my attitude and like my outlook on stuff versus because willpower does require, like, if I feel like the smaller portion is being cheated on, I have to use willpower to like be okay with like being cheated on not getting the big meal. But if I change my attitude and I say, okay, well, the smaller portion is like normal, then it's not really willpower. It's just changing how I look at things. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. That is something that is my biggest struggle right now. So we'll see how the month goes. I will let you know. Check back in another month. So for a declutter project, I said I was going to declutter my external hard drive, which I did. So that is done. It was pretty easy. I didn't actually declutter. I shouldn't say declutter, delete a lot, just because, one, I feel like it's an external hard drive. I paid for it like a million years ago, 2020. I paid for it in June of 2020. So at this point, what I did is I put a copy of that onto another external hard drive. So I have two, because it's getting to the point where it's so old now where I'm like, it could just kind of give out at any time, because, you know, things just get old and warp. For June, I'm doing nothing. And I just want to say too, like, even though these are like, do you need a new habit? Do you need a new declutter project? You don't always need it, especially now, because one, I really don't have a lot to declutter. I only have 2 rooms here. So it's basically like, it's less than living in a studio. Because when you live in a studio, you still have like your kitchen and you have to buy groceries. Like, it's different because I live at home. And so I just have 2 rooms. And because I moved here with nothing, I don't really have a lot of stuff to declutter. So I'm pretty much, I feel like I've reached my declutter stage and I haven't really bought anything. So I'm going to skip it this month. Let's talk about fun finds. And so my first fun find is, somebody's here. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Talisha. And Karen. Who else is here? Yep. Hi, everyone. Just check the comments. All right. So Target has, so I would love the Function of Beauty shampoo and conditioner. And if you remember, like a couple years ago, to save money, I was like, you know, I'm just going to use those cheap Suave products from the drugstore, because who cares, right? It's $3 versus like $36. I'm just going to make do. And my hair did not feel the same. It kind of felt like it was coated and it was like dry and it just didn't look nice. So I just went back to Function of Beauty at $36, and that's $36 for the shampoo, then $36 for the conditioner. It's like a lot of money every time you need to, or maybe it's for both. I can't remember, but it is not cheap to stock up on shampoo and conditioner for Function of Beauty. So they've come out with a lot of like high-end brands. Target does, I think, an excellent job of like trying to bring the cost down. So they have an entire line of Function of Beauty, and it will vary. So when you take the quiz for Function of Beauty, it'll be like, you know, is your hair dry? Is it wavy? What are your goals? Do you need moisture? Do you need to hydrate? I don't know why they're different, but do you feel like you have flyaways? Like all of these things. And so you feel like you're getting this very custom formula. Well, I tried these. They're only $10 each, and they are just as great. And the only thing missing is the eucalyptus, because it is customized. You can add your own scents in there, or no scents, or what color you want it. So yeah, it doesn't have a color. It's in a plastic bottle, so you can't even see what color it is. And also at the same time, it smells fine. It doesn't smell bad. It's almost like it smells like nothing. So I am switching over to just using Target, which is right up the street from me. It's like every town I think I've ever lived in, Target, it's only like a 2-mile drive from my house. I don't know. I know other people, like, I think Jessica said she has to drive like I don't even know, 3 hours to get to Target or something insane like that. So maybe if that's the case, it is not a cheaper option for you. But if it is, I would say go ahead and switch over. The quality is just the same. And in fact, the lid, I know this is silly, but when I'm at the gym and I want to take a shower, it's so much faster to like push the lid, and it's like what am I trying to say? It's one where it just kind of opens up a tiny bit and then it's open, versus like screwing the lid on and screwing it off. It was like always a pain. It would fall on the floor. I'd have to look for it. So this is all together just better. The other fun find at Target too was Kate Spade. So if you haven't been there, so Kate Spade is really expensive, especially in their cute little boutique places. So if you go into Target, they have a whole, they have like earrings, they have home goods. It's just like being in the regular Target store, except everything is like way cheaper. So I did not buy any Target Kate Spade stuff, but I did like looking at it. And you know, maybe if I want to buy stuff in the future, at least I know it's there and it's cheaper and it looks just as cute. So it's not even like it's like generic or bad. Another thing is Facebook Lives. I don't know if anyone goes live on Facebook anymore. I don't know. I have been going live on Facebook inside of the Cozy Mystery Cafe. So every time I have a new book release, I will go live and just talk about my book and chat with people. When I say chat with people, like I think 2 people showed up for the last one, but they have a new policy now where after 30 days, they'll delete your video. I guess they're running out of space. I don't know. I feel like they make billions. They have plenty of money to pay for storage, but whatever. So if you want a video, you should, I think, 1, upload it to YouTube and then link it to Facebook. So in the past, the problem was Facebook would penalize you for using a link to a video. And they really wanted you to upload video natively to Facebook, which I'm kind of like, you know what, why should I upload natively when you guys can't even store the video? So my prediction is if you upload right now to Facebook, in theory, they'll hold on to your video and they won't delete it. I think that policy will change because clearly I don't know what they're doing, but I think it's always better to just upload it to YouTube and then link it there later. And this really only applies if you go on Facebook Lives. And they even changed it, so it's like way harder to go live on Facebook. Oh, I'm so excited. So if you were here last year or the years before, all I did was talk about how sad I was because Lucky kept over licking his tummy. And I'm looking at him, he's over in the corner, and it is now cured. He's like, it's like a Florida miracle. So ever since we moved here, 2 things changed. 1, I stopped giving him a bath every single week or twice a week. So, you know, my ex had an allergy, and so he had allergies in general. Really I don't think it mattered if the cat was there or not, but he blamed it on the cat. So we always had to give him a bath every week. Sometimes he'd complain, and then we'd have to give Lucky a bath twice a week. I vacuumed like twice a week. I did the sheets, like wash the sheets twice a week. Like it was like a lot of work. Like it was such a huge time suck. But since we moved here, the vet here was like, because I paid, I think it was $600 just for the visit at the dermatology, the pet dermatologist. And they gave us, you know, tons of medicine, and they went and do all these tests. And so anyways, this went on for like 2-3 years. Here I go to this local, like random vet, like the building's falling apart, doesn't look fancy like the ones in San Diego. And I'm like, oh, this guy's not going to know anything, right? And he's like, why don't you just stop washing your cat? And I was like, I don't know. What? I guess I could, right? Like my ex isn't here to complain. So I just stopped washing the cat. That was his last bath was December 1st. And since then, that fixed it. His hair all grew back. So he didn't need any of the medication that I gave him. So I feel bad that I've like over medicated the cat. I didn't need to spend like thousands and thousands of dollars for his supposed cat allergy because he doesn't have one. The only thing he's allergic to is obviously me and getting bathed in San Diego. So anyways, that problem was fixed. So sometimes it just takes a simple solution, I guess, to fix things. I mailed out over 42 Easter cards this month, so I'm very excited about that. I really like mailing out cards. So some of them you can see I use some calligraphy. Some of them I ran out of calligraphy ink for the first time ever. I have to order some, and I just kind of wrote their names on the cards. So that was my fun thing. I probably won't send out, there's really no reason to send out cards for 4th of July. Nobody does that. So I will probably not send out any cards until Christmas again. I don't know. I might send 4th of July cards just to be annoying. I might send postcards. Who hasn't gotten a postcard? It might be a little weird to send a postcard from somewhere you live, but I'm okay with doing that. So that's kind of what's going on. All right, let's talk about books. I actually loved this book. This was the super surprise. So if Veronica Speedwell is another mystery series that I really liked, and they are adult historical, like, they're fake. I don't know. Anyways, they're historical mysteries. I thought through the whole book, the way she talked, the way she was treated, I thought she was like 13. And then all of a sudden in one of the books, Veronica Speedwell is having sex. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? Apparently she's an adult. I don't know. Same thing with this assistant to the villain. She supposedly is an adult, but it reads like a middle grade fiction book, but in a good way. Like, I really liked it, like the Veronica Speedwell. Anyways, there are 3 books in the series. It's very fun. If you were looking for something fun to read, these are obviously paranormal. I thought they were kind of funny and entertaining. What else? I am excited that this show is coming back later this month. It's season 3, which apparently was filmed like over a year ago. I don't know what they do in Hollywood, but it takes forever. It's finally just now coming out. May movies. I am excited about this. This is coming out on Apple Plus. So I believe you have to have Apple Plus. Maybe you can buy it. I'm not sure how that really works. But Fountain of Youth. I always like a good, like, Indiana Jones action adventure kind of movie. And this does not look like a romance because The Lost City with Sandra Bullock, that was a romance. This looks more like a family one. Those are a brother and sister right there. And so I think it's just going to be like a family action adventure. But we'll see. That comes out at the end of the month. And if you really like that, there were 2 action adventure romance books that were actually really good. Digging Dr. Jones is super spicy. So if you require your romance books to have at least 6 sex scenes in it, that's the book for you. If you want something that is less focused on the sex and more just kind of funny and back and forth, like, I wouldn't say vanilla, but what am I trying to say? More Hallmarky, Jewel of the Isle is the book for you. So I loved both of them. They were both totally different, but both still really good. So those are my other book recommendations. I did a lot of reading this month. This is on my May TBR list, and this is from NetGalley. So if you've never used NetGalley, this is a great way to read books for free that are new releases. So not old books or things that, the used book bin. These are all things that are coming out. So inside of NetGalley, you can pick if you want to read romance, young adult, mystery, thrillers, whatever it is. And then you can see who's published it. And then I think some of the indie authors will be in there too. It'll just say it's through, there's different services that'll put them on NetGalley for you, but that's very rare. It's mostly trad books. But you have to post reviews on time. I did not know this. So when I first started out, you can see my feedback ratio is 88% because you'll download these books, you'll send it to your Kindle. That's how you read it. You can read it on a PDF, but usually it's really, I don't like reading things on a PDF. But anyways, if you do not send feedback in on time, that's also the really important key. If you're like late in sending your feedback, your ratio goes down. I know it's killing me to have like a grade of a B because it will never go beyond a B to an A because I've missed out on sending feedback in the early days because I didn't realize that was important. So anyways, when they go through, I think they look to see like how much feedback have you given? Do you give it on time? I don't know what they're honestly it is, but they do say like over here, it says recommended feedback ratio is 80%. So anyways, there are some titles I've requested that I just never get a yes from the publisher. So it kind of varies on what you'll get a yes or a no on. This is also my other TBR. I know there's so many books I want to read. We'll see if I have time. This is from Libby. So this is through the library. So if you've never tried it and your biggest complaint about libraries is you don't return the books on time, this would be another great way to get some books that you don't have to worry about returning on time. So anyways, these are all the books I have, and they're usually available in audiobook, and sometimes they're available in regular. Like I got The Lost City of the Monkey God that's in Kindle, and it's also audiobook. So in case I'm driving and I want to listen to something, even though I'm trying to be alone with my thoughts. So what did I do last month? So I always talk about a tracker, so I'm still using that to track my time. The overall did decrease, but it decreased slightly, decreased by 11 hours. So I'm pretty much on par for not June. What was this? This was April versus March. And to be fair, April had one less day than March. I don't know. Would I really have worked 11 extra hours in that extra day? I don't know. But so my daily average went from 6.59 hours to 6.5 hours for the month. So I still feel like I had a pretty productive month. Only one video came out. That was Harlequin's new releases, because mostly I was focused on writing. And I'm kind of sad Harlequin is pausing videos right now. So I've been so used to like getting in the cycle of getting their new releases and then doing a video. So I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they will come back with more videos. But right now, I think you can look at all the videos I posted, and we'll see what they do in the future. I did, like I said, I had 3 wonderful afternoon tea outings. So I was very excited about that. And yeah, so that was my April. I finally got out of the house. I think for March, I didn't leave the house at all and do one thing. So this was something new for April. So I am still on track. I feel like really good about this year. So I did my January, February, March goal, and April, I finished Candy Canes and Crimes, which was my goal to finish that Christmas cozy mystery. So that's all done. I have more books planned, but the only thing we'll focus on right now, because I am shifting things around, is May, which is I would like to write one more book for May. I've already scheduled a developmental edit, so let's hope I can finish that on time. I don't know. I do have a busy month. 2025. So how am I getting things done? I think, honestly, to be fair, all of these other things, just like daily life, has been so much more simplified now that I'm living at home. And it's made it so much easier. But I think the other thing too is I only have 2 goals this year: work out and write. That's pretty much it, right? Like otherwise I'm kind of doing status quo with these Plan With Me's, our weekly newsletters, a couple templates here and there, but I'm like not trying to go above and beyond with any extra stuff. And you know, just the last 2 or 3 years, just researching Squarespace versus Wix versus Framer versus Webflow. That like sucked up so much time. And now I'm like, you know what? Everything's on Squarespace. Is it the best? I don't know. And I don't care. That's the most important thing. I don't care. I'm not watching any more comparison videos. I'm not trying to learn any new different platforms. And that has like made all the difference. Like I said, this is not the year for strategy. This is just the year for like doing stuff. And the new writing tool I have, first time ever, I can use Pacemaker, which I've never been able to do. So very excited about that. And again, I don't know if I'll make this goal for this month. It might be a 2-month goal. Only because I have not even started plotting this book at all. I know I want to write it, haven't started outlining it or anything else. So we'll see if I can make it. Because based on this, once I get it outlined, writing 4,200 words a day is a lot. Some days I make it, and then some days I don't. That's just how it is. And I did not build in any buffers for myself. So I'm okay if that's a 2-month project. Oh, another fun find. So for writing research, if you haven't done this yet, I would highly recommend using deep research. So Google has deep research, Grok has deep research, ChatGPT has deep research. I think that's it. I don't think Claude has deep research. But basically, when you go into the prompt, all you have to do, and this is free. I don't know, you can't do a million of them. I think it limits you to like 2 or 5 per month or something like that. But you just have to make sure at the very top, when you go into Google Gemini, you need to choose deep research instead of just like asking a normal question. So once you select deep research, then you put in your research request. So remember, it's not a question like, hey, what time is sunset today? Or I ask AI that sometimes because I'm just too lazy to look it up. Or how much is 12 times 42? It's like, do some like actual research for me. So like I'm reading that book, The Lost City of the Monkey God, because I was thinking about writing an action adventure. And so I asked it to do some deep research on, say, a particular area. So the Monkey God is in Honduras in this area called the Mosquitia. And I said, do some research on the Mosquitia and, what can kill you in there, right? There's like pit viper snakes. There are sand fleas. There are these things called bullet ants where they bite you and it's so awful, it feels like you've been shot with a bullet. And then there are scorpions, right? So I'm trying to get a list to do research for that particular topic. And then after you put your topic in, it'll ask you, okay, it's just so I understand, is this what you want to do? And it might ask you some clarification questions, which I actually appreciate. Did you mean Mosquitia now? Did you mean Mosquitia back in the 15th century? Like, it will get some clarification to make sure it's doing the right, like looking up the right information for you. You confirm that, and then you just wait and let the magic happen. Now, the magic takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Like, you can see it going through and like looking at different sites and like doing some research. Like it's called deep research. And then when you're done, it will spit out all the results to you. And then I like Google only because I don't have to copy and paste it. I can just click export to documents and it'll all be pre-formatted for me into a Google Doc. And then I can save that later when I start writing if I need to look at it for research. So, or you can copy and paste it into Scrivener or whatever writing tool you use to like look at it. The only thing you have to be careful of is it won't do anything, I think, or at least I noticed if the tab is not active. You know how you have like 20 tabs open at any given time. And so you go into email and then you check back in on this other tab. It won't, I think it stops working if like the tab isn't active. So you have to like pull the tab out and almost put it up in the corner so it's by itself, like in a browser. And then you can still use Chrome or Safari or whatever you're using, as long as it's not like a hidden tab. It has to be like open and active. So anyways, that was my fun find for writing for research. All right, so let's talk. So if you want today's slides, you have to be inside of Planner Pixies to get those. Let's talk about May and what's happening. Oh, Amazon First Reads. I always share which book I'm getting. And this month, let's see, let me check and see the questions. I'm just talking. Let's see. Talisha, I am so happy for him to be home. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, it's like, it makes you sad, right? When like you're thinking of like an animal in pain. We don't wash cats in the UK. That's probably a good thing. I don't think you're really supposed to. I didn't know people bathed cats. It seems so different to me. I mean, you can bathe them. I think it's mostly, I see it in kittens when they're being rescued and they've been outside and they're really dirty, but like an indoor cat, there's really no reason to wash an indoor cat. I love mailing cards. Yeah, it's fun to mail them, and I think people enjoy getting them. I watched the trailer. It looks so good. Yeah, I was very excited about Fountain of Youth. Or what else? What was Sex and the City? I'm excited for all of them. Let's see. Can you read it on an iPad? You can read everything on an iPad. I can read all of my books on my iPad, my iPhone, on the computer, on my Samsung Galaxy tablet, my Kindle reader. So it doesn't matter. As long as you have the Kindle app, you can just open everything up. Same thing with the Libby app. I have that on my iPad and I have that on my phone. And I also have it on the computer. So it's very accessible for everywhere. Karen, congrats on your epic speed of writing. Thanks. Yeah, hopefully that'll keep up. It'll get faster. Let's see. Deep research sounds really useful. Yes, it is. I don't know why I've never used it. Like I've heard people talking about it, so I just thought I'd mention it. I'm excited for all of them. Cool. Yeah, me too. All right. So Amazon First Reads, this is your reminder. I always put this up here because I actually didn't even know that Amazon did a free book. Like it must have went into spam or they didn't send out emails. Like I've missed out on years of free books that they give out every month. It's just if you're an Amazon Prime member. So anyways, this month I picked Homemaker only because it's an amateur sleuth. It's like the first time ever they've had a cozy mystery. The other books did not look as great. I can't stand, psychological thrillers. Those are like the worst. Because at the end of every psychological thriller, it's like, oh, and then I woke up and it was all a dream or something like ridiculous like that. What else? Historical fiction. I don't think it's bad. I'm just not into historical fiction. And I think that's because I'm a history major. And because of that, I'm like, oh, that never happened. And I'm like, oh, that never happened. I don't know why I think that. But all of them are fiction, so I'm not sure why I'm crazy like that. And then they have this bonus short read. So I don't know. We'll see. So usually the authors they pick, some of them are debut authors. These authors, Ruthie Knox and Annie Mayer. In general, I'm not a big fan of books written by co-authors. I don't know why. They always seem, even though they're co-authors, they always seem to be a little choppy or disjointed. And maybe I just think that because I have been part of a co-author team. And I know there were times that Alana and I did not agree on what should go in the book. And we were like, what ended up in the book, I felt like didn't flow. So, that could be just a bias that I have. So yeah, so the only things that are never on my to-do list or my reading list are co-authored books, psychological thrillers, and twins. I hate books about identical twins. I feel like it's such a cop-out and it's so, I don't know. I just don't like them. That's all I have to say about that. But otherwise, I love reading everything else that's out there. Karen, I've just started using it and it's writing so much better than me. Good. Sorry I'm late. Hey, Shelly. All right. Let's talk about, so that's the Amazon First Reads. Whoops. And May. So I was going to attend all these conferences like the whole year. I've like mapped out every writing conference, and I used to do that in the past. And I would spend $40,000 a year. And this is like 10 years ago, like in the dark ages, when things were cheaper and travel was way less expensive. So I thought I would do that this year. And so I remember the whole year at a glance. And so this month you have Sleuth Fest going on. You have the American Training and Development, that's HR, the World at Work in Orange County. I've decided I'm not attending any conferences this entire year. They're so expensive. So I actually mapped them out, like talking about budgets. We'll talk about that in a minute. Thriller Fest is something happening in June that I would love to go to. So Thriller Fest and Sleuth Fest are both for mysteries and thrillers in theory. And Sleuth Fest to me is over here in St. Petersburg, which is only like an hour and a half away from me. So I thought that would be convenient, right? I can just drive over there. I don't have to buy a plane ticket. It's so close by, but there's nobody good talking. There's like nobody excited that I'm excited to hear from. And it's like a tiny conference. Like, I just don't know that I really want to go to a tiny conference. And it does not have a tiny price tag. It is still going to be $3,000. And then the hotel, I looked up the hotel where it's being held, and there's like, it has like a 1-star rating. People are showing like all these complaints about it. So it's not even like a fun little mini staycation kind of getaway. So there's that. And then on top of it, like if I had the $3,000, I would rather spend it on Thriller Fest. 1, I love New York City. 2, I think all the people going there are amazing, and I would love to talk to any of them, even for 5 seconds, or hear from them. And also, I would just like to be at New York. And I've been to Thriller Fest like many, many times, so I know it's like always a good experience. So there's that, but it's so expensive. It just doesn't make sense, I think, to me to spend money on another writing conference when I have already been to it multiple times and to many others, and instead just stay home and write. So that's what I'm going to do. However, I did pay to join 2 writing conferences that are virtual, and they're romance ones, because I was thinking about writing romance again. So one is the Writing Gals. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of them. And they have one virtual conference, I guess, where everything just sessions that are posted online, and that's $200. And then they have a membership that's $10 a month. So I did all 3. Then they have, a totally different, the RSJ, which I don't even remember what RSJ stands for, but they have a virtual conference with some workshops. So I paid for that too. So these are all of the things that I'm attending, and mostly because I was listening to Masterclass. I think I mentioned this. I accidentally paid. I tried to stop the payment. I did the free trial, but I just missed the date. So I'm stuck with Masterclass for the next year. But listening to the writing sessions from the other authors, I was like, this is kind of motivating, and it's just nice to listen to other authors once in a while. So I thought, let me maybe listen to some more workshops as well. So that's why I paid for those. And it's still way cheaper than the budget of going in person to these other ones, which again, I do want to go to an in-person writing thing, but I think maybe once I've written more books and I have actual books to promote or for signings or something like that. So maybe in a couple more years. Good news. So I, as you know, am a big fan of the Lean Pixcut sticker maker. It prints stuff for you and it kiss cuts them all in one little foul swoop. So I love this thing. The only problem I had was with the stickers. They're just not very sticky, and maybe they might change that in the future. But the good news is my biggest complaint was that using the app on your phone is very difficult and kind of cumbersome. So two good things. One, they announced, and who knows, even if they're late, I think it's still good that they're trying to do it this year. In June of this year, they're supposed to improve just the functionality that you see on your phone, because I must have not been the only one that complained about it. The other thing they're trying to fix is the desktop software, because as a graphic designer, I always like looking at stuff on a desktop, not even on a laptop. I need a mouse to do things. So I'm very excited that they're trying to come out with desktop software in the fall, in September, and then we can just send it to the Lean, which would be life-changing. So all that's coming soon. So all that to say, later this month, I am working on sticker sheets for you again. So hopefully, you have the other purple, just fun planner stickers. This month, I'm going to make it a theme of author planner stickers. And then hopefully by the time the desktop software comes out in the fall, we'll have a nice collection of a ton of sticker templates for you to use, and you can mix and match those and start applying those into your own sticker sheet. So all that's coming out hopefully next week. If not, definitely by the end of next week. So that's happening. What other things are happening in May? Mother's Day. So don't forget if you have a mom. And also book release number 3 for Vanilla and Vendettas is coming up. Not a lot for me to do, just be in the Facebook group. I really haven't done any book promotions at all, just because I don't like it. So that's kind of all I'm doing. And then that other book is due to an editor that I paid for. So an outside developmental editor, that other book that I wanted to write. And your Sunday Eve emails. And then I think I have your checklist, and that's it. I think, let me know if you have any comments, but I think I got everyone's comments. Talisha, I love virtual. Yeah. I mean, it's easier, it's cheaper, it's less expensive. I'm not going to be paying. There was another virtual Inkers Con. I don't know. There's something I'm not interested in that one. I paid for it in the past once, and I didn't really like any of the sessions. They're probably the same people. I don't know. So I kind of feel like after paying for those two, I'm kind of covered for the year. Karen, very inspiring. Thanks. All right, everyone. I know I talked for almost an hour. Just had a lot of things I wanted to share. I hope everyone's having a great month, and I will see you in a week. I'll see you next week, because we're going to go over the stickers. Actually, will I see you next week? I'll probably just post the stickers. There's really nothing to really do, because they're going to be just like the ones from before. They're pre-made for the Pix. So the Pix has, I think I mentioned this before, it is a 4x7 sticker sheet. There's no such thing as a 4x6. There's only 4x7. So you'll get 2 sets. You'll get, just like before, you'll get the 4x7 sticker sheet. So if you have a Pix, you can just send it, be done. If you don't have a Pix, then I've also included each sticker as its own individual PNG, so you can put it into, the Silhouette or Cricut Space or whatever you're using to create stickers, or the Brother Scan and Cut. So that's it. All right. Bye, everyone.